All right, folks. Welcome on back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. I am your host, Daryl Martin, right here at TFNN.com. And we're checking out where the markets are at right now. We'll get on over at the S&P. It is currently down 4 points. With the Russell, it's currently down 2. NASDAQ on the positive side up 5.5. And the Dow is down 11 points on the day. Copper currently up a little over 0.5%. Gold is down just a few bucks right now. And we got silver pretty flat on the day, down 0.07%. Natural gas is down 1%. And we got oil is up 0.5%, up 44 cents. Right now we got corn up over 1.5%, up 5.5 bucks. And we got soybeans up over 1%, up $10. So some nice moves there in the ags. Looking on over at our pound dollar, it's up 42 pips. The euro pound is currently up 3. Dollar franc is down 37, with the dollar yen down 50. Euro yen's currently up 2 pips. Aussie yen is down 33. Aussie dollar is up 19 pips. Bonds currently a little bit positive on the day, but not a massive move. We got the dollar index down about 1/3%, and euro dollar is up 40 pips on the day. All right, that gets us all caught up on your lunchtime market wrap. And let me check out a few things we want to go over with you today. One of them is Nadex has started their new 20-minute binaries in demo. They'll be testing those out this week, make sure everything's working well. And as you can see, they got nice, tight stops there. But you can see, like right there, you got a 12 and a 120. Now, you are going to have to remember every 20 minutes, every single time, to hit the refresh button, or you're not going to see the strikes. Okay? It's going to become incredibly annoying. In my opinion, it was already annoying when you had to do it every hour. All right, what is a solution to make it where you don't have to do that, where you always got the current information sitting right in front of you? Because when these expire, the new ones come up. I mean, well, part of it, they'll be gone, and you'll know to go, and as long as you're paying attention and you're thinking about it and, you know, everything else. Or you can go for the really easy solution and just use the scanner. Inside the scanner, it's going to go ahead and bring those right up for you. And it will allow you to, it'll automatically refresh, okay? And it'll have that information right in there for you. So you don't have to hit a refresh button. The old ones drop off. The new ones come on. Pretty simple. And the scanner's made to actually feed all the information in from the Nadex platform, demo and live. You got to hit the demo button to see the demo. That just makes sense, right? And so if we go over here and I pull this up for you, then, you know, you'll basically be able to, once we get everything fully going for you and up and live, give me 1 second. So I want to show you all this stuff because it's pretty cool. But we'll be fully integrating these pieces in, and you won't have to worry about it. And so now that that's come out, and now that it's on the demo platform, we'll put it there, and then we'll then add it from there into the live platform for the scanner. And so we'll have that programmed. We'll have that up and running. And let me see if we got anything going right now, because I know our programmer said they already had an update on it. Yeah, so they're going to have that up for us very, very soon, and you'll actually be able to get that automatically without having to wait around to get that information. All right. So, but anyways, check those out. I'm really excited about them. I think it's really cool. And before they go live, we'll have them live in our scanner for you as well. Probably have them tonight. All right, so what else do we got on the docket that we can go ahead and cover right here out of the gate? All right, so we got the Aussie dollar. Let's check out Aussie dollar last night. We're going to go through. We're going to check out some charts. We're going to check out some 10-minute moves. We're going to check out some day trading plans and put it all there. Had a big early run on up there, 0.5 to settlement going on in there. And then looking over here, let me see. All right, I got to change that. Little messages in my ear there. And, okay, here we go. All right, euro dollar. And so MVP shorts there. And again, one of the things, you know, I've been highlighting, I've been talking about this trade quite a bit. It really is one of these things where I really like going in at night. Every once in a while we get some in the morning too. Just some simple neutral trades there. to try to get things going. This is a very much a beginner, simple trade, and it's just called the 10-minute MVP system. It's really not something absolutely massive, or earth-shattering, but it's something that I found to be, effective as a good way to get started and get used to things. And where is that at? Sorry, I had something up in it. It's really got hidden on me. Okay, now I can make sure I lock it to my screen so it doesn't disappear. All right, so looking on over at the pound yen. And looking over here, we got some nice movement last night. Again, 2 a.m. Checked out that move down, pops on back up, back down. So it gave quite a bit of variety of movement in the evening. And the day trading plans are even getting some nighttime movements now too. Looking over at the euro dollar, we got some spike trackers to show off here, and just showing the sells right there expiring in the money, going right when it breaks that low in the money sell right here. You got that buy right when it breaks the high in the money, flat as can be. Okay, this is like right around, what is this, 11 o'clock, 12:30, flat as can be. But just some great simple trades on just no movement at all happening. Looking on over at oil, and on oil right here, looking down at some nice MVP moves. Also got a full deviation move running on up there, and up to the deviation level. And so just a nice solid run, and actually 1.5 deviations total from one to high in oil already today. Checking out gold in a little more detail, going in running on down, and it's had quite a bit of volatility. It's pretty flat right now on the day, but has some good MVP going in this morning. And then let's see, Russell. So last market we'll pull up on just a quick chart reviews here, and on the Russell. We got that nice run up. Look at that 1.5 deviations going on up there. That was just doing some reviews and catching you up from last week there. Okay, so that gets you all going, and me drop that off. All right. So I just want to do some reviews. We hadn't caught up on some of those, and we got them all done. Next thing, let's hop on over. We got top news and news stories and things going on. The industrials are heading the rally for Wall Street right now for the Dow 30. Gold has been all around, but had some pretty big declines in the last couple weeks here. Caterpillar, 3M, thing like that are the industrials that really help push up the Dow. Oil started to climb back up as Saudi said it might start cutting some supply. And we got the PMI, which came on out. And falling there to a 3-month low, not necessarily a end of the world number. They actually even revised up the previous number, so to 58.9. So this number came out negative. The last number came out positive. Let's see. We got a U.S. yen trading nearly after 2 weeks highs after their jobless claims came on out. Let's see. Yet the previous iron condor trades that we had over on Friday. Let's see here. Give me 1 second, and I'll look over this with you. Let's try to pull one piece up real quick. There it is. Okay. So we're talking about all that, just getting you caught up on that there. We got that 1 deviation bounce there on ES as well, and the dollar falling. But anyway, so what else do we got? So Wall Street climbed on those Caterpillar, on those industrials, and but the energy prices, as they're coming in, they're starting to knock some of those energy stocks. That's what's pulled on the Dow today. And then the the dollar franc, basically big loser there. It's talking about on the big sell-off. So let me pull up the dollar franc. Let's check that chart on out real quick. Okay, we'll get on into it. So right over. If I can get that to pull up. There we go. Dollar franc. Okay. Here we go. Where are we? All right, so a dollar franc right here. So we see this nice drawdown, about a 1 deviation down move going on right now, and Basically, the main reason being for that is the impact on the U.S. dollar itself, and that's starting to come into play with the U.S. dollar getting a little bit weaker. That's bringing the dollar franc down. And then let's see over here, going to Canada stocks, also getting hit a little bit with the energy slides on oil. Let's go ahead. Let's just take a quick look at oil. But, oil's been having a big rocky, a lot of movement lately. And, Russia and Europe and France, and everybody's talking about all these things happening. And obviously that can also hit, even the U.S. markets here. But we're going on in and looking at oil from, last evening. And just checking out where the movements have happened. And right now, looks like it went down to about one deviation, actually, right down, hit the one deviation marker before pulling on back up. Let's see here. And then what else do we got? Some other data dropping the dollar on down. 25 banks failed the ECB test. I talked about, hey, be aware of that. That's going to come out on Sunday afternoon when the markets aren't open. That could rock a little bit of stuff on the FX markets when they do open. And let's see here. Let that chart load on up for us. So let's go up back here to when it opened right out of the gate. And it actually popped up. So you could have been expecting bad news, got nailed. If you're expecting good news, I guess it popped up, whatever. But so it ran on up there, hit 0.5 and then 0.7, and we're actually, pretty close to a deviation high to low on the day, right there with that spike that happened right there at 10:40, a little bit earlier. Let's see here. Some of the news we had the pound and euro be aware news. We had some good moves there. We'll talk about that when we get back. Stay right there. All right, folks, we're going back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. We're just checking out where some of the markets are at right now. We're going through the news, getting you caught up on that, and then we're going to review some trading plans with you as well. And let's see here. Get that up. I just wanted to make a couple updates to my chart. All right, so while I'm getting the charts all updated, let's go ahead and bring up right now. We do have it live and working. I want to confirm that everything was good and get a little confirmation. I got that from my tech, and we are good. And so if you're in the spread or binary scanner, hop on over to binary scanner, okay, and click demo. They are two separate feeds. If you have live, you're not going to see this, okay? Not until at least next week. But click demo. And then right on down here, you'll actually start seeing now the 20-minute contract. See, it's expiring at 1:40. It will automatically refresh with the 2 o'clock, and then the 2:20, and then the 2:40, and on down the list. It looks like they're keeping their bid offer spreads in check with how they do most of their other instruments, which is going to make it a lot more fun to trade. And but they keep that the same thing going live there. And got about size right now of about 40 contracts. That's not bad, and probably will refill them pretty decent amount of time. So not too bad there for a 20-minute contract. So they already got that up and running, allowing for just a lot of trading opportunities that you can go in and check out. So, I was talking about some ways to trade these, and let's go in. Let's let me go in, and we're going to talk about a method on how to trade these with the ranges. Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm going to load this up. And one of the things that we were looking at when doing this was to be able to go in and to look at the ability at this point to go and go, okay, so we're at the top of this hour. Our expected movement for this hour is 27.22 and 2700. To go in to see, okay, so if I go in on this, that's euro dollar. Let me actually change it up. Let's go to S&P. Forgot. Right now, by the way, they're on the U.S. indices only. Okay? So we go in here, we pull those up. And, okay, so we have our expected range over here. And right here, we go, okay, so what's our expected range on this hour? It is 19 Basically 59 to right here down about 1947. So 1959, we're pulling back off that 1947. They got them priced pretty well because there's a low probability it'll still be there. But surprised they actually dropped that one so cheap already. That's actually really low because it could just as easily pull back. But that's actually a short line. I was looking at that as being my short entry on the S&P today, and it's already went down and hit the target the first time. Hit that right there. Took profit on that. And we'll see if we're going to have more targets. I stretched that out for it to make it a little easier to see. But I think that was the only target I had on this morning's S&P trade. The only area I could really find. Yeah, that was the only one I had. So right there, I was looking for sell at 1958 with a buyback at 1950. And usually I go to break even when it's halfway there. So if we look at over here, this has been a nice trade this morning. So we went short over here, came down, hit it, came back up, went short again, came down and hit it, the take profit. And so, basically if I'm within 5 ticks of a take profit, then I will basically just batten down the hatches and tighten down the stop, So I'm not going to worry about squeezing every last breath out of every single tick movement. But, so we got right down there, really nice, and moved on down again, and then now we're moving on back down. So, tightened up stop. Didn't quite get the complete 1950 move, but like I said, that was within our... Actually, we may have got it. Yeah, we did. Yeah, so 1950 being right here. So we actually did get it. And then right here, going back down and shooting for 1950 again. We're just a few ticks away. So I'm just trying to look and see, is there a good butterfly? But there's not one sitting there now. It'd have to be a lot narrower to pull it off at the moment. You're talking like a 54 to 56, a 1-point wide butterfly right now. I'd be able to pull that off. So I would not probably be taking that trade at the moment. Now you could be doing strangles for $50. And they expire in the money on either side, and you're making $50. That's only a point wide strangle. So that's another possibility. All right, stay there. We'll be back right after this break. All right, folks, we'll come back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. So again, we just did a little review right there of the 20-minute binaries coming up. It's pretty exciting, and check them out. Can't really trade them live for a week, but they're testing them out right now in the demo platform, adding some new little pieces of functionality as they go over here. And I've heard some users saying that's causing some issues, so make sure if you have any kind of platform issues, call them up and let them know. But anyway, so we got, they added some issues here. Now you can have position value, which is a new function they're adding in, but you can only select 3 of them. So that's one of the things they need to fix. But it's it's a cool feature once they got it. And so just got to get all the little pieces working, but they are adding in some cool stuff. And of course, as they make little upgrades on here, the data will be easily fed. We'll put that right there in the scanner for you too. Let's see here. What do we do? Because all we're doing is cross-browser sharing, so it's really not a big deal. Okay, so diving in, we got the news. Let's dive into that, look at it, see where we're at for this weekend, for today. And there'll be aware events that you need to be on top of for this week, as well as the tradable events that are coming on up. And so this morning, we had a few events that I was like, hey, make sure you have these on top of your list, make sure you know what's going on. Like I said, I already covered yesterday talking about how you need to make sure that you're aware that the ECB was going to be releasing the bank stress test. And then today, we have, we had a variety of euro reports, pound reports, and we had the earnings release coming out this morning. Merck coming out there on the Dow Jones was released early this morning. So just be aware that if you're trading, the Dow earlier in the morning. Hopping on over, we got the U.S. pending home sales that came out this morning. And those numbers coming in a little worse than expected. Had a movement expectation of about 30 pips, usually off of that report. And so pulling up that chart over there, let me grab it, move it over here. And I know I can get a little cleaner one for you. Hold on one second. Here we go. Okay. So grab this. We'll go in and into the euro for the 8 to 10. So, and actually 9 to 11. So 9 to 11 for the 10 a.m. release. And so doing a test on this one, going in. And so 9 right here to 11. Got a minimum of 25 pips from open to close there. So right about $5 profit on the trade if you were to get filled on both sides of it. And a little bit choppy this morning on the trading plan, checking that out going in. And I was looking at it, and it's coming down, and we hit that halfway mark. I like to, like I said, remove my risk if it's moved halfway. It's a very simple risk method to my target. And you can use even a Fibonacci level to find that 50% mark. It's a really simple tool. You just go on your chart, click on the Fibonacci, draw Fibonacci levels to your start point, to your end point right there at your goal, your target. And at 50%, then you'll see the lines right there. It's actually not very well done. So we could go in and we could, let's see here. But basically you can edit the indicator, the drawing tool. And on the drawing tool, let's see here if we can go in and maybe do some edit to how the Fibonacci's are coming on out on NinjaTrader. But anyways, we'll play with that maybe at a different time. But you can go in and you can edit your colors and how everything looks. And the main one being that very light line that you can barely see. But you notice the white line is right there in the center. So it moves on down here about halfway. Also notice we're at settlement. So we're taking a short right into settlement. So that's another highlight for you. But you're also at the 50% mark. It gets there. Boom. Take it off again. Bounces back up. Does break the low, so it gives you another potential entry right there. You go on in, comes back down again, that 50% mark at settlement, comes back up, out at break even. We tried there twice to make it happen. Still waiting to make it happen. Maybe it'll come on back down. But, it's $1. Pretty much just a couple break-even trades this morning. I said it. S&P was nice. I gave it to us over and over and over again. $1 right now, just really quietly playing there. And did give us a nice break on 2 of them. Third one right there, we never got a break below the low, so never got to get in on that one. But that 50% mark being a really easy, simple method. There's a lot of ways you can do it. You can look at ranges and all that. But, one of the things I'm looking for with as I'm, putting these plans together and teaching them is just what is the simplest method I can use to, help to duplicate the same, results, obviously, as another trader would be doing if they were following the same plan. And so that's one method I'm looking at. What do we got for tomorrow on the news docket over here? Looking at tomorrow. And tonight you got yen retail sales, by the way. So we're going to have that coming out tonight. It's not necessarily a trade event in and of itself as far as consistent statistics. But it's coming out at 750. So if you are trading the yen, the Aussie, then you need to be aware. Either one of those can highly be affected by it. Really, anything can be affected by it. But just be aware. 750, it's coming on out. Retail sells. And early in the morning, we're going to have Italian bonds coming out at 5 a.m. Earnings release is coming out. Pfizer will be released at 7 a.m. in the morning. That's the last confirmation thing I got right there. Again, that's 7 a.m. That's the wire release time. Earnings for tomorrow afternoon, we're looking at Gilead and Facebook. And the expected wire release time on Gilead is 4:05. The expected wire release time on Facebook is 4 p.m. Both those being in the Nasdaq could definitely affect, obviously, if you're trading that. Let's see here. In the 100. And let's see. And I want to check one more thing. Yeah. Okay, so we got... I wanted to bring that up. I was like, I want to make sure that was accurate, but I was right. Okay. And then over here. Okay, so what other... let's see. Tomorrow afternoon, what do we got? Here's our trades for tomorrow afternoon. We got U.S. core durable good orders will be coming in at 8:30 in the morning. We're looking to do an iron condor as early as 8 o'clock with an expiration of 10 a.m. for a minimum profit of $25. So it's an iron condor buying the lower spread, selling the upper spread on Nadex. for a $25 minimum profit. And then we're going to go into the U.S. CB Consumer Confidence Report coming out at 10 a.m. We're looking to find an iron condor on the euro dollar on that one. And we're going to get 9 for 11 a.m. Okay, so we got 8 to 10, and then we got 9 to 11 going on. Again, looking for a minimum profit of $20. We already talked about earnings releases. You got your crops. Tomorrow night, we're going to have the yen and preliminary industrial production. We're also going to have the New Zealand and business confidence reports coming out tomorrow evening. That will get you all set up and ready for today and for tomorrow on our news trades. Now let's go in and let's check out a variety of the plans that we have laid out. And we just covered euro dollar, just hitting that 50% mark, break even, pull back over and over and over again, trying to hit that goal. If we go in here, that's the euro dollar, we can check out. Let's check out the pound dollar, see how that's doing. And scroll through. All right, so we got that on up and running. So we were looking at a entry right here. Came on down, actually did hit our target within the, like I said, the minimum 5 tick requirement. We wanted to hit 60.90 after the price is hit, comes up, breaks it, does break the low, goes on down. And so we get within that minimum 5 ticks, boom, we're done. Also, half we move to break even, remember? Comes on back down, half we move to break even, minimum 5 ticks, can take, or tighten, stop at least. Goes on back down, comes on up. That one moves right against us pretty quick there. Turns right back around, but did not break the low of the first bar. 1, 2, 3 bars to hit it, so we didn't actually get a triggered entry on this first entries. 3 bars within the first bar, not breaking the low. So on that one, looks like we're okay. So basically, I mean, either you got profits or you got break evens. Just sort of a flat market this morning on a lot of the FX pairs before it bounced on back up. Let's go ahead. Let's check out the dollar yen, and we'll also look at the Aussie dollar. And let's see here. Okay, so we just got to move on down here on the dollar yen. What we were looking at is we were actually looking for a move on down to 107.60. We actually did hit that move. Looks like pretty much to the tick on the 107.60. And so now we're looking for a bounce on back up. We've already hit that halfway point, so we'll be tighten our stop to break even right now. We'll be targeting 107.80 and then 108 and right there. So that'll actually take care of that trade for us. If it breaks above settlement, we could have another buy on top of that. But we did just have that go long on the U.S. yen. And like I said, to the tick, 107.60 and looking to buy at 107.60. And heading on up right now, like I said, targets 107.80 and 108, respectively. And should have a stop, like I said, at break even at this point, since you've already moved half of the expected move, or half of the target. All right. Let's see. That knocks that one out, going into the Aussie dollar. And as that chart loads up for us, let's see here. We got the Aussie. And how's it cooperating this morning? We got our entries. Right out of the gate, it actually took a short right there into the first target. Did well, popped on back up, took another shot, hit the first target again, popped on back up. Let's see, did we hit it? 88.10. Let's see. We may have missed it by a couple ticks right there, but very close, and came on back down, and I believe it may have actually yet again came down and hit the target right there. So really calling the range there between that target and that entry. 87.95. We got a low 87.97. So within a couple ticks on that third round. But first 1, 2, then that third one really trying, and then back up here chilling out. So right within the ranges. Like I said, let's hop on over. We already talked about S&P. Russell right now just sort of stuck in a range, going on over and looking at oil and seeing how that's looking this morning. Wait 1 second. You never know when these things are going to hit. Sometimes they're going to hit 3-4 times in a row. Sometimes they're going to hit like just first thing in the morning. Oil, had a short bias out of the gate in the morning. If you're already short, then sweet. We went on down. We kept hitting targets, just one target after another. Finally hit that final target before it started to make its retrace on back up. Of course, any one of these you could use as a potential additional, lower risk, obviously, tighter entry along the way. So oil just like really giving you that great short and confirmation of the short all the way down. And just looking at that detail on that, it's been going sideways, but we were looking like we had a little bit of a pause in the bear trend. Might be a chance for recovery is what I was talking about. And talking about failure to beat resistance, up at A165. So right up here is where we had that resistance. We did fail to beat that resistance. Okay, so yeah, that'd be the ideal entry price. But just looking at the market commentary, failure to beat resistance 81.65, sees it just lower. I said we're going to go on down probably to 80.60, 80.50, and then continue to test, do a lower retest of October's lows at 79.38, 79.10 would be really the ultimate target. Moving on down. We haven't quite got all the way. Actually, we did get to 79.38. Yeah, so said 79.38, and that's actually the number I wrote in here, 79.38. So looking forward to go on down to 79.38. I said maybe 79.10, like basically that range, and we hit 79.38 on that to the tick. I'm talking about this area right here. 79.38 is an area very crucial for future direction, and we do have an actual double bottom. But I don't think this will hold. I don't think this double bottom is going to hold this week. Let's see here on the upside there. We got immediate resistance up at 81.65. We talked about that. And so anyways, but yeah, we had that short like out of the gate, and just something to be aware of. I mean, read that commentary; it'll really help if you got access to that, checking it out, because it lets us. It just rolls out there. Basically says, hey, we think that's resistance. We don't think we're going to bust it. We're staying below it. Let's say you got 10-minute MVP on there. It's going short. Let's say you got Apex's shorts. Okay, cool. Well, that's our resistance. I mean, you may even decide to use that as a stop within and of itself. But anyway, so yeah, it runs on down all morning, confirms, a variety of different trading methods to the downside. Okay, that's oil. Let's check out gold. Let's see how it's done today. And hopping on over here. And looking at this, just give me 1 second while I open it on up. All right. Now, having on over here at gold, really just stuck inside a range, not breaking out of either of our zones. We got a little spike right there, but again, we've got to break that low, or the low of the second bar after that within 3 bars. So neither one happening, just sort of stuck in consolidation. Stay there. We'll be right back after this break. So I've had some people ask me, how am I taking my entries exactly on these trades right here, on these day trade plans when they come up? What I like to do is, I think it's pretty simple, but I will enter like right when the price is hit, okay? Maybe even a few ticks before, especially if we're like selling on a bounce or buying on a drop there. I don't like to get in early if I'm waiting on a breakthrough. But anyway, so like it comes down here, it hits this price, bam, I'm in. Then what I'm looking for is within 3 bars, so like 1, 2, 3. Did it break the low of that bar by a few ticks? If no, then I could be looking to get out. Of course, it came right back down. We're still on the line. So as long as we're hovering on this line, I'm sort of in a no man's land, right? So right there we got, okay, now, so as soon as it came down and closed down below it again, that'd be like another entry. So it's like I'm sort of restarting my timer. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we broke the low. Now we're in the trade. Now we're going for the target. Goes on down, and I'll either take profit, or I'll down here at this level, or I'll probably tighten my stop to just right about break even, maybe a point of risk on the trade. I'm not going to want to risk much at all on this trade once I've moved halfway. It comes on back down, comes back up, and hits it again. I'm waiting for it to break a low of that first bar within 3 bars, or the bar right after the first bar. So this bar to the first bar breaks the low, boom, boom. Those 2 break. We go down, we go short. Okay, so we're going again. Heads on down, we take profit on the trade. So on this trade, either you were in on one position with a very low risk, you could have added another position on with a higher stop there, and then remove your risk on that one at the halfway point, and then it goes on down, and you take profit, target A. moves on back up, 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 up. As soon as it hits it, okay, I'm in. I go short again. I got my worst case stop loss. That's what I want that stop loss to be, by the way. I want it to be my worst case stop loss, meaning I get in and it just flies on me, okay? I'm going to give it a few bars to do its thing and move in its direction, and I'm going to tighten that thing up. So right here we go on down. Boom, it breaks the low. Okay, we've tightened to break even. Boom, we're in. We've taken profit on the trade. We're done. We go up here. We just hit it again. Okay, so right up here, we're moving on back down. I called this here at the top of the hour. We went up. We hit 57.5. You know, so yeah, like I said, within a few ticks on a bounce up. So we're there. We're good. This one went to 19.75. I mean, if you try to worry about that one or two ticks, sometimes you're going to miss out just because of bid offer spread alone. Okay, so I have up to a 5-tick variance. Usually on the S&P, I'm talking about a 3-tick to 4-tick variance. And so it goes right on up there, hit it, boom, go short. All right, so we're waiting for it to break the low by 3 ticks, and 3 hours, boom, we definitely broke the low. By the time we broke it, we're not break even. Now we're targeting it again. So basically my goal is I have a worst case stop if I get in and the thing just flies against me without any kind of movement in my favor. And I mean, it's like within a bar or two, just, you know, I got to have at least a worst case. I don't want to ride that thing out, right? I want to tighten that. I don't want to be too overly cautious with my stops because, you know, jumping into trades too soon is usually the worst thing a trader can do. And then having stops in the wrong place is like the second worst thing they can do, tighten them up way too soon. So, anyways, we had to move, up. I mean, I like this trade. It moved right up to about the expected high there, and coming on down about the same movement. And let's take about another, I mean, we're at the top of the hour here. So it could take another hour or so easily before we move on down to our target. But, our target is within that range, 1950. Don't let the numbers fool you there. So you got to make sure you look at it on the chart because they're spacing so they don't overlap each other. But looking, so far looking really good. And hopefully that gives you a few ideas, tips, and tricks. And, of course, check the notes out as you're going. They'll give you some of the details for you, okay? All right. Y'all have a great day. Bye.